Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Teresa's Crafty Cabana. Today you can see I'm going to be doing some fall jelly printing. I have a few fall colors that I've pulled out, and then I've got these stencils, cardstock using some embossing folders. All new, so I put these in my last video. These are gifted to me from Kim at Seeds of Kindness 01 if you're looking for her on Instagram. And then just some miscellaneous textures over here. This is from Dollar Tree, a little wooden apple. Also from Dollar Tree, just some little berries that do great texture. Some little pine cones. And then this texture is actually a food tray. I thought it looked really cool. You can do the outside part like that rectangle or this side. So I'm just going to see what that looks like jelly printed. So let's get started. So I think I'm going to start with these kind of longer stencils. They look like they would make really cool bookmarks. So you see this jelly plate is just a little too small, so I'm going to pull out my larger jelly plate. Alright, so I've got my larger jelly plate. This is the 8x10 by Gel Press. And then I did pull out some of my perfect pearls here, just in a few of the kind of fall colors that I have, ranging from a really pretty purple, oranges, yellows, a white, and then this kind of like a pink color. So the stencil that I have here, just remember when you're using a stencil, you have, and with the words, you have to go the opposite way. I'm going to put all three down, just like this. And I'm thinking about maybe cutting right here. Yeah, I think I will cut it apart, only because I want to separate them a little bit, and then that way when I cut them down, they won't be as close to each other. Alright, so I did separate those. I'm actually trying to cut away any of those little pieces that kept them stuck together. So now I have three individual pieces like that. And they definitely look like those signs that you would put outside of your front door, but in a much smaller version, and they also look like bookmarks. So I hope this will work out. I'm actually going to start by putting one in the middle. Okay. And then I will start doing my pearls to fill this in so that all the words and the leaves and everything are shiny. And then when I pull this up, I'll do matte paint to pull these from the plate. Alright, I've got all my colors opened here. I'm going to be just using some of my little makeup brushes. I'll also link the ones I got in the description. I got these on Amazon. So just making sure all my little pieces are pushed down before I get started. So I think what I want to do is put a variety of colors, obviously probably focus more on these three fall colors. So I'll start with just a little bit of purple in some areas, maybe like where shadows might be on the pumpkins, because these are going to be cut down anyway. Then I'll have a nice pretty border. Now I see this one piece right here. I forgot to cut off. I'm going to try to cut that off real quick. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I finished with my purple, and when I go to clean my colors from my little brush, sometimes I do this and sometimes I just like blending right into the next color if they go well together. So I just use a little microfiber cloth, and that does a great job of just taking the color off. So I'm just going to kind of put some music on and show you how I'll just go in and do the rest of the colors on these little designs. Okay, so I'm done doing all of my pearl. There's a little bit of extra pearl powder on top of this stencil. Very carefully, I'm just going to try to pick some of that up with my microfiber cloth. This is a very delicate stencil with all these little words, so I'm trying not to rub it too bad to pick those pieces up, but I just want to remove just those loose pieces. Okay. I think these are going to look so pretty. So next I have to decide what color I want in the background of these. So I'm thinking maybe doing an ombre this way of, I don't know if that one's going to show too well, but if it's ombre'd with the 3, I'm going to try it. Alright, so I'm just going to turn my plate this way. That way when I go to do my ombre, I can bring it like that. I'll do my yellow on this side. It's kind of like a yellow ochre. These are satin colors, so they should show up pretty nicely behind this very shiny pearl powder. Guess I'll just start brayering. I'm just gonna go kind of rocking back and forth from one end to the other, create my ombre. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then I've got some 110-pound Nina white cardstock here. I'm going to use my placement tool that I've made. I'll link this in the description as well. The video that I made this with. Just helps me line up my papers. Especially these thicker ones, because you can't really see through them. Okay. Then I'm going to let that sit for about 10 or so minutes just so it can have a really nice adhesion to the cardstock. Alright, so I actually left this on for closer to 20 minutes. Oh yeah, that looks really cool. So you can see it really pops against that matte color. It's a satin color, but it looks a lot more matte, of course. So what I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna cut them down to make sure I have a little border around each of them. And then I'll show you how I'm gonna turn these into some bookmarks. You can see from this one on the right, I didn't put any black on that one yet, but it wasn't as clear to read as when I add the black to the outer parts of this, including the little bookmark outer edge. So I'm going to do the same to this one. I just start by taking my bookmark piece. I'm using a 0.3 pen. Mine just happens to be the Paper Studio. These are from Hobby Lobby. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just going to help me get a straight line. And then for the designs inside, I just kind of traced around. I didn't use the actual stencil for this part because I wanted to have the black line going on the outer edge of the design, so I just kind of traced it like that. And then for the leaves, same thing. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so this is what it looks like after tracing around the designs and the words. Again, it's not perfect like some of my letters, but when you tilt it, it's much easier to read when it's not shiny. So when you tilt it away from the light, so that makes it so that you can see the words and the designs no matter how you're looking at it. And I think it just kind of completes the look. So next up, let's cut this down and get them turned into bookmarks. All right, I'm just going to use my little Fiskars that has the little wire so I can see where I'm cutting. I'm going to use these middle ones to gauge how much room I have on each side. Okay, and when I do this, I just try to look through this clear ruler to see when it's kind of lined up evenly on both sides. That seems about even there. It's a little closer to this side, and you can see it's a little, maybe a little crooked, so I'll just cut off a little bit from this side. That one's better. Okay, so I can use this kind of as my template. I think that's going to be pretty good. I can always trim it down a little bit. Right about right there. That's about this little line right here on my cutting plate. Alright, so this side, I think I just need to get that one just a little bit closer. Okay, so that will be the size. I'll cut the rest down to match that size. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch the hole through all 3 layers. You can see the backs of them. They don't look that great, so I do want to do a little something to the back first. Whenever I'm done using the perfect pearls or any kind of pearl powders on my jelly plate, in order to really remove it, I use this baby oil. Otherwise it just kind of stays on the plate for several uses, but it's not like a good impression anymore. So that's how I kind of clean my plate in between using my perfect pearls. That's now mostly dry from the oil. Just kind of gets absorbed. If you're not sure if it's really dry, you can just take a scrap piece of paper. I was using this one to take that first layer of it off. You can just put some, this is copy paper. You just put copy paper on the gel plate. And that might remove any extra oil that's left on there, but that was a pretty clean transfer, so I'm ready to use it again. So for the back side, I want to go back in with my colors. This time I'm going to do an ombre this way so that each of them have the colors on the back. Start with my lighter colors up at the top. And then I'm just going to use my copy paper to press those in. I'll let these dry. While those are drying and still on the plate, I decided I'd go in with any other extra details I want to add before I kind of laminate these. I have this white acrylic marker from the Paper Studio, also from Hobby Lobby. I'm thinking with the pumpkins, just do a little bit of highlight. Okay. And maybe with this outer one, do it to the inside. And I kind of like how that looks, but to make it just a little bit different for the middle one, I think I'll do the paint just around the edge of the words. Okay. You can see now the little bit of white just adds a little more interest and a little more dimension. So I think these are pretty much dry now. Okay, just a little bit of white there. My yellow was probably just a little bit too dry. I get a little bit of this kind of bubbly thing going on. So what I might do is just one more layer back here, and then should be ready to go. For this final layer, I'll use my Easel gold. Some leaves. Those are just foam. I've got some of my drywall tape. A little bit of my text. Okay, I think that is pretty good. So I'll go ahead and put these down again. I'm lining them up right where they were before. You can still see the line where they were lined up. I'll use my piece of copy paper again. I will let this dry just to make sure that it adheres nicely. All right, these have been drying for a few minutes. Yeah, that's better. So you can see it covers up that spot that it missed. Gives it a little bit more of an interest with the design. I like that a lot. And it kind of goes in hand with the front of it. So let's see the other two. There's these little paint extras. Those are just going to come off when I just rub those off. That looks really good too. And there's the last one. I think that looks really nice for all of my little back sides to my bookmarks. So now I can work on completing them. I'm going to use this self-seal laminating sheet set. I got these a long time ago, 50 pack. They're 9 by 12, 3 millimeters. I'll see if I can find something comparable on Amazon. Like I said, I got these a long time ago. I don't even remember where I bought them from, but I'm sure that Amazon sells something similar if you're looking for something like that. So you do have to use 2 sheets if you want to laminate the back and the front. So fortunately, these will all 3 fit on one. So how you're supposed to do this, so you flip it over. There's these little arrows up here. You just peel back the backing. Now they've got the little grid on it. Could help for lining things up. So the way I like to do it with the grid, you fold it down like that. Then figure out how much of a border you need. Let's just say like that. Okay, then what you do is you start pulling the paper. And as you pull, you press down. You try not to get any wrinkles. Also try not to touch it because it is sticky, so it will take on your fingerprints. Okay, then for the other side, do the same thing where I remove the backing. Bring your sheet back, and then you're just going to line it up. And now underneath, you just pull away the piece of paper and press it in. This is just a cake spatula from Dollar Tree. Alright, so I've sealed the back side, flipping it over, just going to press . Alright, and now I'm ready to cut it down and do the final touches, like adding the holes through the plastic and then adding some twine or ribbon. So this is going to be much easier to line up. I'm just going to line it up again, just on the same line here. I could go in probably even a little bit closer. So let's do, that's a 1/2 inch. I'm going to do it right before it lines up with the white part. Okay. Yeah, that's a better border. It was just a little bit too thick before. And so I'll do that around all of my bookmark pieces. And at the end, if I feel like I need to go in even a little bit more, then I can. And then for these corners, I don't like to have the spiked corners, so I'll just go in with a corner punch to those. If you don't have a corner punch, but you have an envelope punch board, you can use the back side to round your edges. And there we go. Nobody will get poked. Just need to punch my holes. Since I've already punched the first hole, all I have to do is line it up. There we go. I'm going to double up on my twine. This is just golden white twine. This one's from Michaels, but it's from the holiday time from a few years back. They may still have something similar though. So it's a total of 4 layers here. So I'm just going to fold it in half. Put it through the front. Pull it through. And then you can go and trim the top pieces down. Then you have a really nice little tassel. If you're worried that this might come apart, you could always put a little bit of glue right in the back here. And then that way it doesn't fall apart over time. So I'll just do that to the other 2. So here are the bookmarks completed with their little tassels, rounded edges, laminated, and a design on the front and on the back. And they fit nicely into a book like this. Even if it's a smaller book, it would just hang out the top. So you could have it hanging out if you had a shorter book. So that would make it, you can put it this way when you're reading. You can follow your lines. So I think that these are some really great fall bookmarks that would make a great little gift, or like in some kind of a little gift basket, or even during Halloween, giving out Halloween treats. You can give out some bookmarks too. So I think that these are going to be a lot of fun. I might gift these to my nieces or my nephews, so they may enjoy using those in their books. Well, thanks for watching and following along today for this cute little craft. And let me know what you think. Did you like how these turned out? What would you do different? Anything? I think on the back, maybe I would do one more little thing on the back, but I don't know what. Maybe they just need Crafty Cabana sticker. I don't know. I'll think about it. Let me know what you think. All right, thanks, and happy crafting, y'all.